Harry Styles is back with new music, and he became famous thanks to being a part of the biggest boy band on the planet, aka One Direction. So now let's have a throwback to how it all started for him. What was it like before his life changed? What's his way of dealing with popularity? Who's on the list of his winter girlfriends? It's your boy Marky Mark here, and stay with me to find out all the details of Harry Styles' solo venture and who inspires his songs. Harry Edward Styles was born on February 1st in 1994 in Redditch in the UK. He is the second child to Desmond Styles and Anne Cox, and he has an older sister, Gemma. When he was little, he moved with his family to a small town called Holmes Chapel, where he grew up, went to school, and developed his interest in music. Did you know that he was a baker? I mean, he worked in a bakery, but if you know what I mean, you know. When he was only 7 years old, his parents divorced, unfortunately. His mother remarried to Robin Twist, who unfortunately passed away in 2017 after a battle with cancer. How did that affect Harry? I'll tell you about it in a moment. Harry's childhood wasn't very different from that of his friends. It's just that he had a great love for music. Styles has always loved singing and showed a huge talent performing songs of Elvis Presley that his dad introduced him to. Did you know that he kinda dropped his previous band to be in One Direction? Because when he was a teenager, Styles was the lead singer of the band White Eskimo. They even won a few local competitions. When he was in One Direction, Harry learned to play the guitar and the piano. But how do you go from being in a local band to a group that half of the world is obsessed with? It was all because his mom persuaded the 16-year-old Styles to audition for the 7th season of the British XFactor. He admitted that he had planned to do it before, but he was too young. So in April of 2010, he performed Stevie Wonder's Isn't She Lovely? And the judges liked it, and he went to boot camp. But that's where his journey was supposed to end. 4 other boys from his group also didn't make it through boot camp because the judges decided that Harry Styles, Louis Tomlinson, Liam Payne, Zayn Malik, and Niall Horan weren't good enough to make it solo. Really? Can you imagine that when you think of where they are right now? But everything happens for a reason. According to Simon Cowell and Nicole Scherzinger, the boys were too good, so they came up with an idea to put them in a group. Well, wasn't that a great decision? Simon's bank account without a doubt approves of it too. So this is how One Direction was created, and the name of the group was actually invented by Styles. While on the X Factor, the band quickly gained popularity in the UK. They got to the final of the show, but finished 3rd, behind Rebecca Ferguson and the winner, Matt Cardle. But the 3rd place finish wasn't the last of One Direction, and soon the whole world went crazy over these 5 boys. So they were the winners anyway, with several million views of each video posted on YouTube. Their first single was What Makes You Beautiful got more than 1 billion views. It really was a huge milestone for them. Unfortunately, in August of 2015, the band announced a hiatus because the boys needed to rest and wanted to focus on solo projects. During the 5 very busy years of the band's activity, they released 5 albums, sold an impressive number of over 70 million records worldwide, and their 2014 tour was and still is the highest grossing of all time by a vocal group. Over those years, the band had won literally every award they were nominated for. Doesn't it say a lot about their fans? Because of that, Harry has had multiple important music trophies, including the Brits, American Music Awards, Billboard Music Awards, and many others. Their singles, which were played by radio stations almost all around the world, will also go down in history. Harry Styles, who was the youngest member of One Direction, co-wrote the group's songs and also helped other artists with their music. For instance, he wrote Just a Little Bit of Your Heart for Ariana Grande. He also is the co-writer of the soundtrack to the movie Love, Simon. Styles debuted with his solo music in May of 2017 with an album simply titled Harry Styles. The promo single, Sign of the Times, on the day of the release reached the top of the iTunes charts in over 84 countries, and Styles' album became the best-selling debut album by a male British artist. His first solo tour sold out in just a few minutes, but what else could you expect with a fan base like that? Harry wrote all the songs on his debut album himself and then mastered them with his producers in a studio in Jamaica. Did you know that he wrote his biggest solo hit in just an hour? I guess he had a lot of practice in One Direction when they had to write their albums in 2 weeks. But Styles is not an artist who explains the lyrics of his songs. He prefers when people interpret them how they want and take what they want from them. In addition, this guy who likes reading said that one of his favorite authors is Charles Bukowski, and apparently the writer's works were what inspired the songs Woman and Only Angel. But that's not all. Harry tried something different, and in 2017, he made his debut as an actor, and it was quite a successful start in the new industry. He starred in the movie Dunkirk, about World War II. Have you guys seen it? The production got positive reviews from the critics and became one of the highest grossing movies of the summer of 2018. Will he star in another movie again? Who knows? Right now, Harry definitely sticks to music. But he was even considered as one of the candidates for the role of Prince Eric in Disney's Little Mermaid, but Styles turned down the offer. There were also rumors that the singer was supposed to play Elvis Presley in the upcoming biographical movie about the rock and roll king. In the end, Austin Butler, aka Vanessa Hudgens' boyfriend, will play the legendary singer. And while Harry's fans from all over the world follow his career, Styles prefers to keep his private life as secret as possible and doesn't want to reveal any details of it. It isn't that surprising when you have millions of fans who want to know your every move, and some of them are basically like detectives. Do you think it's a good thing that protecting privacy is a priority for him? You can see it on his Instagram account, which is currently followed by almost 25 million people. Recently, he finally posted something there after more than a year of silence. The post announced that the release of his new music and things related to his professional life with robotic captions are the only things he shares online, nothing more. Of course, when you're a worldwide famous star, there's no way that tabloids and fans won't be interested in your personal life. The list of women Harry's been linked to is quite long, since during his time in One Direction, he's been a bit of a player, and among the singer's relationships, there are many unconfirmed rumors. How is it that a guy who's been ranked among the sexiest men in the world can't settle down with anyone? His most controversial relationship was with the British presenter Caroline Flack. They met when she was the host of the X Factor, and they were together for a short time at the end of 2011. The thing that was problematic in their relationship was the age difference of 14 years. She was 32, and he hadn't even turned 18 yet. Later, Styles was seen with the model Emma Ostili, who appeared in One Direction's music video for Gotta Be You. Now I'm gonna tell you about the list of his winter girlfriends who were given that name by his fans. Why were they called that? Because this guy would stay single for the whole year, but every November, he was out with a new fling, and then he dropped them in February. His most public relationships were with Taylor Swift and Kendall Jenner. He was spotted with the pop star in 2012, and they spent Christmas and New Year's Eve together. He even took her to his hometown. It's quite possible that several of Taylor's songs from her album 1989 refer to this relationship. Just check out the lyrics to Style and Out of the Woods. Then, at the end of 2013, he was out at dinner with Kendall Jenner. It's very likely that these two just hooked up. They have mutual friends, and they were seen together many times again in the following years. Oh, and obviously, I couldn't forget that yacht holiday around New Year at the end of 2015. To round up the list of his winter flings, in 2014, he was rumored to have had an affair with other Victoria's Secret models Nadine Leopold and Sarah Sampaio. Do you think Harry has a type? Well, Harry's last official relationship was in 2017 with the French model Camille Rowe. Even though the relationship seemed pretty serious, they broke up in 2018. It seems that they really were in love and remained friends because after the breakup, they were still seen together. Then it was rumored that Styles started dating the model Kiko Mizuhara, and they even spent his 25th birthday together. Despite that, she claimed that she never met him. Do you think she was trying to protect herself from his very dedicated fans? Despite his numerous affairs with models, the media also focuses on Styles' sexual orientation, but he has repeatedly refused to label it. As he says, everyone should be just who they want to be. On the other hand, why do people ask him such personal questions? Styles confessed that he never felt the need to talk about it publicly and label his sexuality. Harry also revealed that he is quite old-fashioned when it comes to relationships. He likes to take his dates out for dinner where they can talk and get to know each other. And the image of him as a ladies' man created by the media is not real. It's because he grew up around his mother and sister, so he has a lot of respect for women. He said that he hates being called a womanizer and doesn't like it when people say that he's into older women. Anyway, music is the most important thing for him at the moment. It's crazy how just in a few years, Harry Styles went from an ordinary teenager to a huge pop star. His fortune is currently valued at $72 million. This makes Harry the richest member of One Direction. However, he assures that despite the fame and money, he managed to stay relatively normal. He says he has good friends and family around him, so that helped him to stay grounded. What's more is that Harry is known for his charity work. When he was in One Direction, him and his friends did a lot to help others, and he still continues to do so, mainly supporting organizations that provide care for adults and children with cancer. It seems that he chose this cause because it was the illness that took his stepfather. Styles also supports various social movements. He has been a supporter of the LGBT community and other gender equality. At almost every show, he waves a rainbow flag on the stage. He also advocates for ending gun violence in the United States. How do we know that? He put a sticker with a slogan on his guitar. Look. So Harry's new music is finally here. Are you excited for his new album? Do you think it will be as good as the previous one? Or maybe you think it will be even better? And what do you think about Harry Styles? Do you think he will join One Direction if they decide to make a comeback? So let's talk about it in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to become part of our Curious Sips family. See you next time!